Terence Wade, a comprehensive Russian grammar. I actually just got this grammar book a couple of minutes ago, in fact. I ordered it online a week before, and it came on my doorstep right before I started recording. Good stuff. This video will sort of serve as a continuation of my last video, where I broke down a simple Geck sentence into its grammatical parts. In this video, however, we're going to go and take a few steps back and look at the phonology of Geck and overall just how to pronounce the language. Now, a phonology, a language's phonology, is the set of phonemes or individual sounds that make up a language. The general American dialect of English has 39 of those phonemes, 39 of those little sounds, 24 consonants, 10 vowels, and 5 diphthongs, which are just two little vowels strung together like I or ow or oi. A phonology can be organized into charts like these for the consonants and charts like this for the vowels. And this is the phonology of Geck, and it shows off all of the consonants, the vowels, and in Geck's case, the tones that make up the language. This I'll go and explain later. So, real quick, I'm just going to go over all the sounds, and then I'll go over them in detail. So, da, toi, ga, qua, ga, ma, na, nga, fa, foi, va, sa, soi, cha, schwa, cha, hua, sa, schwa. Those are the consonants. Vowels: I, U, U, O, E, A. Tones: A, 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 A. So, that's just a little summary of what the rest of the video is going to be like. Now, we're going to go and start off with the consonants and, how it's formatted. So, every sound that humans can make has been organized into what is known as the International Phonetic Alphabet, which is this large table of sounds that are found in languages all over the world. And they take the form of letters that you might know already, like this M, this N, T, F, V, S, as well as symbols that you might not know, like this one, or this weird L-looking thing, and this S with a tail on it. What's that about? I'll get into that later. But basically, they can be organized into place of articulation and manner of articulation, and this is where this chart comes in. So, we're going to go and start off with the bilabial consonants. We're going to go and start off with them. So, bilabial consonants use both of your lips to make the sound. These two, your lips right there. So, in which case, this sound, ma, is what is known as a bilabial nasal. A nasal consonant, meaning that rather than having the air from your lungs go out of your mouth, it's going into your sinus cavity and out of your nose. The next one is the labiodental consonants, which use both your upper lip and, your lower lip and upper teeth to make the sound. So we already know a couple of sounds like this, like fa and va, which are known as labiodental fricatives. A fricative is where you make a small hole with your mouth and force air, creating friction through the hole. Friction, fricative. So, in this case, you are making that small little gap in your mouth with the upper teeth and lower lip. And v. However, there's also another type of F here with what looks like a W in the corner, a foi. Now, this little W at the end shows us that this is a labialized consonant, meaning that we have to go make a little W sound at the end of the consonants. It's sort of similar to our English word question, where it's not question, we make a little W sound at the end of the K. So, fwa. Next, we go into the alveolar consonants, which are formed when the tongue is pressed onto this alveolar ridge here just above the teeth. Of course, we have many different alveolar consonants in English, like ta, na, and sa. So obviously there's the ta and, of course, the labialized twa, like here, like in this labialized labiodental fricative. So fwa and twa. Now, this row of consonants are in the stop category. A stop in linguistics is when you pent up air in your mouth and hold it there and then release it all at once. So consonants like ba and pa, ta and da, ka and ga, all of those are examples of stop consonants. So there's the ta, like I said before, and the labialized twa. Next on the alveolar consonant is the alveolar nasal. So you go and take your tongue and put it against the alveolar ridge and have air go out of your nose. Na, na. Very simple. It's just an N sound. The next one is like I said before, a fricative consonant where you make a small hole and force air through it. So, sa. And you have the tongue rise up to the alveolar ridge, but not touching it, having a little hole, and then having air force out of your mouth. Sa. And of course, it has a labialized version, swa. This one, however, is what is known as a lateral fricative. We don't have those in English, so I'll go and take a bit of extra time explaining those. So lateral consonants are consonants where, rather than having the air, one single stream of air going out of your mouth, two of them. We have two streams of air going out the sides of your mouth. Fortunately, in English, we do have a lateral consonant. It's the L. The L. So if you notice, you have your tongue fully touching the alveolar ridge, and you're having two streams of air going outward when you make an L sound. La. So for this lateral fricative, obviously we are going to want to expel that air much harder. So rather than having a la sound, you more have a sha, sha. It's the same as an L, but you have the air coming out and it's not voiced. Sha. And of course, there's a labialized version as well, schwa. The next one, the next place of articulation that we're going to is the retroflex consonants. Retroflex consonants include the ra sound that we have in English, and unfortunately, that's the only retroflex consonant we have. So this is a retroflex sibilant fricative. Don't worry about the sibilant part. Just know that it's a retroflex fricative. So, sha. Now, one would be one would often confuse sha with the English sha, like in sheep or a shell, but they're quite different. So in order to pronounce sha, you would have to go and roll your tongue back in your mouth when, like, you're making a ra sound, ra, but instead of having the tongue go down to make the ra sound, you have the tongue stay in there, and like all fricatives, you force the air out. Sha. And of course, there is a labialized version, schwa. The next one is the palatal consonants. The palatal consonants rely on the tongue interacting with the hard roof of your mouth, known as the hard palate. And we, the only consonants that we have in English that are palatal are the palatal approximants ya, as in you or yogurt. So, The first palatal consonant that we'll be pronouncing is nga, nga. Kind of similar to the velar nga, as in thing, but instead of having the tongue hit this soft velar palate right here, the tongue goes straight up and has the air go out through here. Nga, nga. The next one is cha, the palatal fricative. Now, cha, although we don't have it as a phoneme in English, some dialects of the language do have it. For instance, if you were to say hue, hue, that word does not have the same H as it does in hat, hue. You'll notice that your tongue is rising up to the hard palate, sorry, but not touching it, and has the air go through that little entrance and out the mouth. Cha. And of course, labialized hua. The last manner of articulation that we'll be going to today is the velar consonants. Now, the velar consonants are formed with the tongue interacting, the back of the tongue, interacting with the soft palate, which is found here at the mouth. We have consonants like this in English with ka, ga, and nga. And of course, the K and the G in this category are part of the stop category. So have the air pent up and then release it all at once. So ka, K as like in kitten, and ga as in gash, like in a wound. And of course, labialized qua. So that is all of the consonants found in the Gek language. Now we can go and move on to the vowels. So the way that vowels are organized in a phonology table are a bit different than consonants. As you can see, it looks a lot different. This chart is supposed to resemble the human mouth, and is divided into different categories based on the lines that you see here. So we have open, mid-open, mid-close, and close vowels, and then we have front, central, and back vowels. The first vowel that we're going to be looking at is the front closed vowel, E. E. If you notice, you have your mouth almost closed and the tip of your tongue near the front of the mouth. And that's what it means when it says close front vowel, E. You'll notice that we have another vowel here that is right next to the E, which is pronounced U. U. This is another closed front vowel, but the only difference with it being, with the difference between U and E, is roundedness, being whether or not you round your lips when you pronounce the consonants, which does make a difference in pronunciation. So, E, U. I'm not changing anything inside my mouth at all. The only difference is my lips. E, U. The next vowel is oo. Oo. This is another closed vowel, but this time we go and take the tongue to the back of the mouth to make this oo sound. Oo. The next vowel requires us opening our mouth just a tiny amount. So from oo to oo, oo, oo. So, o. The next pair of consonants are right here, and they will take us back to the front of the mouth again. So, eh. Noticed how we are opening our mouth a little bit more than we were in the o sound. So, o, eh, eh. The next consonant is As I said before, the distinction between E and U and E and U is roundedness. Gotta round your lips when you pronounce these two consonants here. So E and U. And then the last vowel, which can be found by opening the mouth all the way and having your tongue set in the middle of the mouth. So, ah, ah. If you're having a bit of trouble pronouncing that, right here, there's supposed to be a vowel here that is pronounced ah, and in the back of the mouth you have ah, like in salt. So in between that ah and ah sound, we have ah, ah, ah. So, quick review: I, U, U, O, E, A. Very good. The next and final part of the video will be discussing the 5 tonemes of the Geck language. Geck has tones, 5 of them, and they are displayed by writing diacritics above each vowel. And each diacritic is supposed to resemble how you're supposed to pronounce the tone, similar to Hanyu Pinyin, the romanization version of Mandarin Chinese. So, the first toneme we have is represented with this symbol and this diacritic. I just wanted to go and put an A sound here to just put the diacritic on. It has nothing to do with pronunciation. So, first high tone, the next one starts off in the center with a center pitch and goes high, like in this tone here. So, the next one is reversed and is called a falling tone. So we go high and then go to a middle pitch. The next one combines both the falling and rising tone. So you start off high, then low, and then back to that middle pitch. So, Just a bit of a reminder, you don't go all the way up in the last part of the tone. You only go somewhere in the middle between that and then So, The final tone is reversed from this one. So you start off low, then end up high, and then back to that middle tone. So, That is going to be doing it for today. We have discussed the sound system and all of the phonemes of the Geck language. And as I've said before, I will continue to work on the Geck language until I see fit that it is advanced enough to have full conversations in. I hope you have enjoyed the video.